Kung Fu Panda, one of my favorite franchises from DreamWorks. I remember watching the first film back in the day. God, I can say back in the day. How old am I? But I was floored by it. It just drips with so much style, so much charm, so much personality. I still get goosebumps watching the action scenes, especially with that beautiful Chinese orchestral music. Just incredible vibes all around. The first movie is about our main character, Po, and his journey to become the Dragon Warrior. He's just a silly panda, but deep within him was the strength and skills of a kung fu legend. Despite the doubts of Master Sifu and the Furious Five, Po battles the villain Tai Lung and restores peace to the valley. Then the second film came out, and it was somehow even better than the first. Back-to-back winners. In this movie, Po is up against Shen, a peacock villain who wants to use gunpowder in the effort of taking over China. Throughout the story, we discover Po's tragic backstory about his parents and his panda village. Then the third movie came out. That's right, we got a trilogy. And yeah, this one was a step backwards. Not terrible by any means, but a noticeable downgrade compared to the first two. In this movie, Po finds his panda village, and also his biological father, Bryan Cranston. The villain for this movie? General Kai, the cheese stealer. And then we arrive to the fourth film. And yeah, the diminishing returns are hard to ignore. The synopsis? Po has to find a new dragon warrior to supplant him, and he must ascend to spiritual leader of the valley. He's apprehensive about this. There's also a new villain called the Chameleon, who is stealing the kung fu of other masters in order to learn kung fu? Sounds kind of like the last movie a bit with Kai, but okay. There's Zhen, a fox girl thief voiced by Awkwafina. God, what isn't she voicing nowadays? Zhen leads Po to Juniper City in order to fight the Chameleon and save the day. So that is your spoiler-free synopsis, more or less. Now we move into spoiler territory and also disappointment. Ready? Okay. This film was, narratively, a big nothing burger that was full of plot holes. Every story beat was insanely predictable. Po must find a replacement dragon warrior? It's gonna be the fox. The fox was adopted just like Po? It's the villain. She's the mom of the fox. Zhen is taking Po to Juniper City to confront the bad guy? It's a trap. Po has been betrayed? Zhen will redeem herself by helping Po. So, very predictable. I had to leave to use the bathroom during the screening, and I was like, who cares? Who cares? I already know what happens next. For the record, I'm not demanding a story with a complicated plot that is dense or heavy a la Doom Part 2. Like the second Kung Fu Panda movie is fantastic, but had a predictable twist with Shen being the one responsible for killing Po's mom. Predictable, right? Predictable, sure. But rewarding? Absolutely. I saw that twist coming, but the scene is powerful nonetheless. But for the fourth movie, it's predictable and unrewarding. Why? Because the characterization feels pretty flat. Zhen, the new spunky fox girl, was revealed to be the adopted daughter of the villain. We got a few moments with them talking, but it was short and underwhelming. It wasn't enough to really build any substance in my eyes behind the motives for Zhen, except for, I'm a bad guy. That's the way it is. Rules of the streets, I guess. Speaking of motives, our villain, the Chameleon, is a powerful sorcerer who used her magic to steal the kung fu of other masters, particularly those who are in the spirit world. She needs Po's staff in order to access the spirit world, hence why she sends Zhen to bring Po to her. Like there's some rule that the staff needs to be freely given to a person in order for it to work? Yeah, it's a weird plot device that leans into Po being too trusting, while Zhen is cynical. That can be a good dynamic, but this plan of the chameleons was very specific. All it would take was Po being skeptical for just like a second, and boom, plan over. Have fun waiting till the next blood moon. Back to the motives. According to the chameleon, she had to steal kung fu because she was, too small to learn it? Yeah, that's stupid. Literally, Mantis is right there. Well, kind of. And he's a badass at kung fu despite his size. He's even smaller than her. Kung fu is about technique. It's supposed to level the playing field despite your size. So yeah, that logic, that's stupid. I don't like that. Also, I don't understand how she's like, I don't know Kung Fu, but here's my adopted fox daughter who is like incredibly gifted with Kung Fu. Where did Jin learn that? Where did she learn her skills? She had Po on the rope sometimes. And why didn't she just teach her mom? That doesn't check out. Also, the movie said that the chameleon was supposed to be Po's greatest enemy? Yeah, no, I don't see that. Not true. Maybe because the movie's trying to like nostalgia bait us with the presence of the past movie villains and how they fall prey to the chameleon? But it wasn't convincing to me. Felt like the plot demanded it, but failed to persuade me. It is such a shame too, because the film itself was so close to having something that could have worked. We needed more time with Jin and the chameleon, if anything. That could have at least provided more showing than telling about their relationship. But, oh well. The thing that made my jaw drop the hardest for this movie was reading this interview from the co-director of the film, Stephanie Stein. Brace yourself, folks. Also, shout out to the Kung Fu Panda subreddit for making this interview happen. According to Stephanie, Kung Fu Panda 4 was 1. It was being considered to become a live-action hybrid with human actors in the movie. 2. The director of the film, Mike Mitchell, had full control over the movie and constantly pushed for funny versus heartfelt moments, which really explains the lack of substance in the film, especially with the chameleon and Jin. 3. The Furies 5 were only put into the movie, along with Shen and Kai, because the artists fought hard for it, claiming that leaving them out would be a massive loss to the fans. And it wouldn't make sense to leave them out completely, which is why they don't have voices in the movie. They couldn't afford that. 4. That there was a plot where Shifu was kidnapped, and that was the motive of Po going to Juniper City, which, by the way, I far preferred that plot, versus Po going, I guess I'll stop this villain because I don't want to decide the Dragon Warrior right now. And 5. Apparently, Shifu and Tai were supposed to have a final goodbye moment together, but that idea was scrapped. There's 29 pages worth of information here, and I'll link it in the description. But all in all, it sounds like the corporate meddling in this film was off the charts. That anything that felt good in this movie was due to the artists and other staff who fought hard to preserve the things we love about Kung Fu Panda. Visually, I thought the movie looked great. Now, I wish we could have had, some more of those iconic 2D animated sequences from the previous films. But all in all, the visuals were terrific. And I'm not even upset about Jin's design. That's fine by me. The music? Wonderful. It's just the story where things feel hollow, which is a damn shame because it sounded like there was some really excellent ideas here that were shot down by the team leadership. It's just, corporate meddling takes such a noticeable toll on art. Yes, one can't exist without the other in this business. But to see creative diminishing returns is a bummer. And I fear this might only get worse for DreamWorks as time goes on. Katzenberg, one of the main leaders of DreamWorks and renowned villain, was on record years ago proclaiming that the Panda franchise could potentially have 6 movies in total, which is just ridiculous. But it's a business, and it's about money, be it profits or cost or dealing with debt. Speaking of debt, that's where our sponsor, PDS Debt, swoops in as the real-life hero of your financial journey. So let's get ready because we're about to delve into a different kind of tale. One of financial freedom and empowerment. First off, let me tell you, I've been there. The anxiety, the stress, it can feel like a weight on your shoulders that just won't lift. But thanks to PDS Debt, we've all got a chance at financial freedom. I wish I knew about them back when I was struggling with debts. They offer solutions that can consolidate your debts into one manageable monthly payment, taking the pressure off and giving you a clear path forward. They've got options tailored to fit your unique situation, whether you're dealing with credit cards, personal loans, collections, or medical bills. And if you're stuck in that frustrating cycle of making payments that never seem to make a dent in your balances, well, they've got you covered. Plus, everyone with $10,000 or more in eligible debt qualifies. No minimum credit score required. That's right. Bad and fair credit are totally okay. But here's the best part. PDS Debt cares. They genuinely want to help you get back on your feet. Just check out their reviews. They're top rated on Google and have an A+ rating on the BBB. That's the kind of track record you can trust. So here's the deal. PDS Debt is offering a free debt analysis. It only takes 30 seconds, and it can be your first step towards your financial freedom. Head over to pdsdebt.com/Saberspark to get your free debt assessment today. Thanks again to PDS Debt for sponsoring this video. If you're feeling weighed down by debt, remember, there is a way out. Take that first step today and see how PDS Debt can help you reclaim your financial future. On that note, back to the video. So, Universal, the owner of DreamWorks, seems to be on this trajectory to streamline the animation production process in the effort of lowering cost. No, not for A-tier celeb billing. There will always be a budget for that. But instead of lowering costs for the animation itself. Recently, it was announced that DreamWorks is fully outsourcing their animation production to Sony Pictures Imageworks. I have heard rumors that this is in the vein of dodging unions and lowering cost with work outside of the US. A lot of this is still speculation, but with the way things have been going for the animation industry, I would not put this past Universal. It seems that they are putting more stock into making movies that are more like products than anything else. And with the rising tide of AI potentially replacing artists, I am genuinely concerned for the future of the animation industry. I feel like so much of this is due to the continued fallout of COVID and how the movie industry is still trying to find its footing while also trying to figure out how to not collide with streaming. For Kung Fu Panda 4, they've been able to make their budget back so far within a week of the film's release. So financially, they're on the right path, but they still have to make back the money from marketing. And at the time of writing this video, I'm not seeing much buzz about Kung Fu Panda 4, except that it was at best serviceable and at worst a disappointment. For me, I'm in the middle. Not terrible, not amazing, but still a disappointment, considering how great the first and second films were. Also, this wasn't even worth seeing in theaters. I say wait for streaming or DVD or Blu-ray. So, overall, props to the unsung heroes who worked on this film. I see your effort and passion. But to the leadership at DreamWorks, fix your shit. You're better than that. And I hope that we can continue to see great things from a studio that I know can bring their A game to the table. But those are just my thoughts. What do you all think? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you all next time.